Hey beauties, morning to you. I want to talk to you about this ex-satanist conversion story. You know, it was kind of profound. It was a 3 hour long. So it may take about 3 videos to let you know, because it's very significant in the life of Christians and even non-Christians to hear the importance of this story. All right, so I don't know, his name is James. He's from, I don't know if he says he's from Uganda. And his father was like how you would have the prime minister. He was somebody, not just of eloquence, but somebody in high authority, in high position. And got married to a woman. And in those days, I think it was he was born in the mid-70s, I think. And those days, and prior to those days, the belief is, if you're a man with power and authority, and you want an heir to your throne, your wife should have a boy. When you have only girls, it's like you're nobody sort of a situation, unfortunately. So the first child that his wife had was a girl. The second was a girl. The third was a girl. I don't know if it's 4, if it's 5 of them in total or 6. But let us say 1, 2, 3, 4 girls, and so on. And the wife became quite concerned, because the reality is that maybe she felt as though her husband could leave her with the pressure, of not bearing him a boy, and he not having somebody, an heir to his throne, so to speak. I call it throne, to pass on, to do succession planning. So somebody told her, I don't know why they would not have steered her, I know, and this is on my opinion, to the church. But listen, beautiful people. So somebody told her of, we'd say, a witch doctor, Obeah, and so on. And she went to 1, they couldn't help her. She went to 2, they couldn't help her. So she went to several Obeah men, women, they could not help her. Finally, somebody told her of a specific witch lady. She lived in the bushes, for example. They said she had 1 breast in the middle of her chest area. And that, how with Christianity, when you go into fasting and prayer, you have to kind of consecrate yourself before God for how many days you may be fasting and praying for whatever particular situation. And with that, the enemy is going to do a counterfeit to anything that God promulgates. And he said, even with that, down to the very devil and demons know that you have to follow principles, laws, and principles that God would have ordained in heaven and on earth. In other words, it's a principle that if you throw the ball up, it must come down. You follow what I mean? That has nothing to do with Christianity versus non-Christian. There are certain principles you have to follow, And your body needs food and water. Whether the food is going to be liquidated, and goes into your body, still food and water is needed in your body. Even if you don't drink water, you drink coconut, the food must be mixed with some level of water in it. So there's still water intake. All right, beauties. So she decided, because she was so desperate, she didn't tell her family, though, that this is what she's doing. So she went, and I think they said you have to be naked and live in the bushes for 7 days, something like that, and eat. You can't eat cooked meat. So I don't know if cooked meat, yeah, maybe I don't know. She had to eat raw meat, but I know they say fruits, vegetables, whatnot. The husband, let me put this into, because you might wonder how the husband didn't think it's strange his wife is missing for 7 days. Based on their arrangement, I don't know what he said. Like, it was not unusual for her to go missing, so to speak, or gone away for a few days. Maybe she would generally go and visit family or whatever. So he got, they had some level of understanding. So it was not concerning to him. All right, so beautiful people. So he, the mother, or the wife, I should say, she went and she did her thing, followed the thing, and 7 days, no cooked meal. I think you had to be naked, as I said. And she went, and then she decided she went before the witch doctor woman, and the witch doctor woman said, I cannot help you, go your way. And she found it very odd, because they said she was a topanaris. While she's walking away, she felt an unction that says, you're going to have a boy child. But she wasn't sure. She said, you know what, she's determined. So she turned back and said, she's going to try that. She spoke with somebody who put her on and said, she's going to do the 7-day thing with that witch doctor again. And she decided to do it. 7 days of the, whatever the ritual was. And on the 14th day, she went back to that witch doctor woman. And the witch doctor woman said, you determined, you're back again? She said, yes, because I need a boy for my family and husband. And I guess she said, all right, no problem. I'm going to tell you this. You're going to have a boy child, but this is what has to happen. Before 24 hours pass, after the child is born, you have to bring back the child here to me, because we have to do whatever ritual and ceremony. She didn't specify. So you have to basically dedicate your son to me, So it's really saying dedicate your son to the devil in a sense. She didn't understand. She just took it and said whatever. And they said to her, you have to bring 9 cows every month, something like that. When it worked out to 63 for 9 months. Whatever the number of cows were per month, it worked out to 63 after the 9 months and so on. She was a wealthy woman, the husband is a wealthy person, so that was nothing to her. And they said, you cannot breastfeed a child. And she just, in her head, to think, okay, this lady's crazy. And so on. So when the child was born, before the 24 hours passed, before the sun went or whatever it is, she had to carry, and she said those days they never had motor vehicles. She had to find her way there quickly. She went, and then when she went, she said hundreds of people were there. This witch doctor woman was about 60 years old, and they performed a marriage ceremony with this 1-day-old baby and this 60-year-old lady. She just think it was just something, a part of their thing. So the lady told her whatever. She went back home. She put the baby down, I guess, in the crib, let us say. Had to go on the road, because remember now, she has her husband at the home, her sisters, the child's sisters, and an uncle, her brother. Went on the road and then came back. When she came back, maybe she had a babysitter. She realized a python snake was around the child. Nobody could go near the child. Neither the sisters, the uncle, the father, neither her. So it's like the python snake breastfed the child, so to speak. Because for 3 months, nobody could go near it. And the husband, he got probably tired. Men can't bear emotional pressure too long. They cannot. They don't have that tenacity like a woman, for the most part. So the python snake, listening to the man, it just sounded like a big fairy tale movie, like a sci-fi show. But I guess it is so. And 3 months, she said the day the husband left with the children, the girls, that's the day when the python snake left. And I guess the breastfeeding time would have been over, so she never got an opportunity. I don't know. It didn't mention that she breastfed the child afterwards. But, so the baby's there and time is passing. So the child becomes 3 years old now. At 3 years old, the mother, when the father left before 3 years old, the mother had a nervous breakdown because she never knew what to do. She has this child on her own. The uncle was a drunkard. So the baby grew up in a sort of much and even further dysfunctional home. One day when he was 3, going on 4, he saw the uncle running in. He said he has a good memory of it. Running in the whole, bust open the door, running in. 5 men ran behind him. And they shot him. But when they shot him, they brought the child, this 3-year-old went on to 4, to watch. So he shot him, then they watch him kind of gasp. Then they shot him again, and it went on for 5 times. And he said they kept him there watching the uncle suffering for 2 hours, bleeding to death until he died. He said he just knocked out, he fell out. When he woke up back, it's like he was not a human anymore. He said he had no emotions, no feeling, neither feelings of love, no feeling of love, no emotional, some sort of blissful feeling, nothing. It's like he was an empty log. But, because he now felt betrayed by his mother, realized his uncle couldn't protect him, he felt his father was gone. And beautiful people. After that, he said, one of the witch doctor compatriots reached out to the mother and said, you have to come, you have to bring your child. He's going to, be around us for a lot. You have to give up your child because we made you have your child and he belongs to us, so and so and so. And they took the child at 3 years old, went on to 4, put him in a cave with dead bodies for 3 days. So it's, again, remember, they do a counterfeit to what Jesus. Jesus was dead, buried for what? 3 days. I'm laughing, but it's not a good laugh. Anyway, he said for the 3 days, he saw, like in Jamaica, that said dopey, demons going all over. He said a snake came, and that snake went inside of him. So the guy interviewing him, by the way, a young guy, he said the snake what? He said the snake physically went, not spiritually. Guys, follow me on TikTok, listen for past